Agile or Waterfall? Whenever we start a new project, one of the things we have to consider is what's the approach that we're going to use. So, are we going to use Waterfall or Agile or something else? It's worth keeping in mind that not every organization is equipped to just flex between doing Waterfall and Agile. They might just have one in-house style, and it may all be Waterfall, or it may be one flavor of Agile. But when you start a project, you're the project manager, you're responsible. So it's up to you to find the best approach for delivering your project. But that brings us back to the central question, doesn't it? What is the right way to deliver your project? Well, I guess to understand that, we need to go back to the methodologies and have a closer look at them and try to understand exactly what it is that they offer and how they're different. Okay, I'm not going to waste your time with the history of project management or the evolution of Agile. Instead, let's just have a look at the key differences you'll spot between the two methods when you actually use them. Waterfall has clearly defined sequential phases that run through the life cycle of the project, from initiation to planning to building and testing and handing over and closing. You get requirements early on and you know pretty much what your target output's going to be. But change can be slow during the course of the project, and if you miss any of those requirements early on, it can be very expensive to correct for it later on. Following this method will give you forecasts for time and costs and benefits. Forecasts that, like all forecasts, are likely to be wrong almost as soon as you write them. But organizational leaders and managers are comfortable with forecasts. Waterfall is entrenched. It is considered to be the default way to deliver projects. Now, Agile has a focus on fast delivery and getting value out very quickly. They take a number of the activities that were mentioned in the waterfall phases and they do them repeatedly, rapidly, producing in quick succession lots of bits of value that get released every few weeks. Rather than taking requirements at the start of the project and then disappearing for a number of months or years, they're constantly talking to customers, constantly updating and refreshing their priorities. This has a consequence of making Agile projects very easy to adapt to changing priorities and changing circumstances. It does make it difficult, though, to predict on a large design exactly when it's going to be finished and how much it's going to cost. From my observation, and this is purely anecdotal, business leaders who haven't worked in Agile projects seem to be suspicious or even skeptical of the merits of the Agile approach. So Agile is not the default way of delivering projects yet. So which should you choose for your project? Well, you may be leaning more one way or the other by now, but rather than guessing, I've called in an expert and decided to ask them.